Hey, what is happening guys, Chris here, and today I'm going to give you a few hints and tips to help you improve your kill to death ratio and overall make you a better player at FPS games. This video is specifically targeted for Call of Duty players, but a lot of these tips will probably help out in other shooters too. Just to mention that these tips aren't in any specific order, so they're all worth taking into account. My first tip, which is a pretty important one I guess, that a lot of people don't tend to do, is take it slow. By this I mean walk more rather than sprinting. If you're running around all the time, yes, you'll get to places a lot quicker, but you're also a lot more prone to getting killed. Your aim down sight's time and the time your weapon fires is reduced, meaning that if you come into contact with an enemy player who's walking, they're going to have the advantage over you. A lot of people like to play COD as though they're Rambo, running around like a headless chicken thinking that they're the boss, rather than being careful and tactical. You're not going to have much time to respond to someone who's just come into view in front of you if you're running. This mainly happens when you're running around corners. If you walk around that corner instead, you're more likely to be able to adjust, get your bearings and aim at your enemy on target. So a basic rule is to try and avoid running around corners unless you really need to get away from someone behind you, or if you know for sure that there's nobody waiting to gun you down. Tip number 2 is to use Hipfire. Now I know this doesn't sound like much of a hint, but it's surprising how many players rely on aiming down their sights. Now obviously, if your target is miles away, then I wouldn't really recommend trying to gun them down with Hipfire. But try and hone your judgment skills and make a quick decision as to whether the target is close enough to kill without having to ADS. In close quarters, aiming down your sights can often be a bad idea as you don't have much time to adjust your aim, unless you're on some kind of crazy sensitivity setting, and you'll also move a lot slower, making you an easier target to hit. Not to mention that by hip firing, you'll also bypass the time it takes to ADS and start firing first, before the enemy has a chance to. And if you do get hit in the process, you don't have to worry about that annoying flinch to put your aim off. My third tip is one that might help you if you're having a bad match. You know when you've just been killed a few times in a row by the same guy, or someone who's just camping in a corner at the top of some stairs, and you start to have a little tantrum, you're shouting at your TV, you're bracing yourself to rage quit, and you feel like hurling your controller across the room through the window. This next tip can help you out with that. Basically try not to go for the revenge kill. This might be hard for a lot of you out there, but be patient and don't go hunting the player that last killed you. Now most of us are prone to chasing down the last person that got us killed. And I know that sometimes you might go off, racing to the last part of the map where you were killed, hoping to find the guy that just shot you so you can claim some sweet revenge. But think about it, you're playing a game quite often with a few players on the other team, all out to kill anyone who poses a threat to them, including you. So whilst you're off hunting down a specific player, you're forgetting about all the other players that are around ready to kill you. And a lot of these players will be more braced and ready to get their aim on you than you will on them, if you're focused on getting back at a single player on the other side of the map. This tip kinda links in with my first tip about keeping your pace slower and being prepared and focused to be able to take out anyone in a gunfight, rather than just that one guy who's camping. Keep calm and play the game as you would normally play if you'd just spawned in from the start of the match. My fourth tip is to use cover to your advantage. In a lot of maps, specifically in Call of Duty, there's quite a lot of things spread out over the level. Boxes, crates, barrels, anything that covers the whole bottom half of your player, but leaving you with the ability to look over and aim over the top. Just by simply standing or crouching behind these and using them as cover, already is going to make you a much harder target to hit, especially when you're overlooking parts of the map with longer sight lines. Whereas if you were standing in the open shooting at someone, they often stand just as good as a chance as you do to get the kill. There's going to be quite a few times where the enemy might not have spotted you, but you've seen them. Sometimes it's best to run over to cover if there's some nearby, and then start to shoot at them, just in case their aim is really good and they can react to your shots really quickly. And don't be afraid to use complete cover, and wait until your health is regenerated if you've been shot. In these cases though, I'd recommend moving positions as quickly as you can after you've got your health back, as most likely your enemy is still probably waiting for you to stick your head out and shoot it off. So it's best to get out of there, backtrack if you can, just to avoid that situation. My last tip in this video is to learn the maps well, perhaps even go into a few private matches or against bots, just to get used to them. This is normally the best thing to do if a new game has just come out or a new DLC pack with more maps has just been released. This just gets you used to all the places you can flank or be flanked from, overall positioning, getting used to where you might typically spawn from, or where the enemy team might spawn from, and if there's any map altering events and hidden areas. By getting used to the overall layouts of the map, you're putting yourself at an advantage against players who might not know the maps well or if they're new. Also, if you're focused on keeping or improving your kill to death ratio, this might be an important factor and you're less likely to be killed from places that you didn't know existed. So guys, I hope these hints and tips help you out and improve your game in Call of Duty and other FPS games. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button on your way out. I'll be bringing more guides and tips video just like this one out in the future for all kinds of games and genres. So subscribe to my channel to stay posted and keep up to date with everything that I release. And if you're into game reviews, I've got you covered. I'll be bringing more of them out in the future. Take it easy guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.